The best retirement / investment advice ever from investment bankers. So I graduated from a top 5 MBA program, UC Berkeley, a while back. And I have some friends who went into investment banking. So I decided to reach out to them and ask them, hey, give me some good retirement advice. Give me some good retirement investment advice. This is what they came up with. Number 1, don't panic when the stock market drops. Easy to do, right? Especially the last couple of years that we've been going through. Easy to do. You see that thing going boo, and you go boo. Don't go boo. Don't do it anymore. Relax. These things have a way of, settling themselves out. If you just look at history, some take longer than others, but just stick to your guns, guys. Stick to your guns, okay? That's what I've been preaching this whole time I've had the channel. So far it's been working out fine, and I have confidence if you stick to your guns based on the past history, everything will be fine. So do not panic when stocks go down. You got your plan, stick to it. Number 2, beginning investors should not attempt to invest in complex investments, such as derivatives, calls, puts, stuff like that. There's all kinds of stuff that you can look at and look at their returns and go, hey, maybe that's for me. I'll put a little 5, little 10,000 down on that. Don't do it, guys. Investment bankers know what they're doing. They've been doing this all their life. If you're a beginner, don't even think about investing in that stuff unless you have a real good, solid knowledge of what it's all about, how to go about investing in those things. If not, just stick to what, simple investments you're comfortable with. If you want to go to a financial advisor to advise you on what to invest in, sure, great. Go to a fee-only financial advisor and be careful with that. Make sure they have your best interests at heart if they're fiduciaries. If you're not, if you're a beginner, stay away from complex investment vehicles, okay? Stick to index funds. If you're still young, if you're not sure about what you're doing, target retirement date funds are fine as well. For my taste, they get a little too conservative once you hit retirement age, but up until then, I think they're perfectly fine. Number 3, don't try and beat the market. Even though these investment bankers do this for a living, they say unless you hook up with someone who is very knowledgeable, very, very, very above average as far as like someone who, heads a hedge fund, the vast majority of people are not going to beat the market. And even those that do may do it for 1 or 2 years, but after that, boo! Look at Kathy Wood. Look at how that's doing now. It was doing great 3, 4 years, ARC ago. 3, 4 years, 5 years ago. It was doing great. Now, what's it doing? It's tanking. Don't try and beat the market. And as an aside to that, don't try and time the market either. It's another thing. You might get lucky once, but are you going to do it twice? Are you going to get overconfident on your ability to do that? Don't do it. Ride it out. Be confident in what you have and ride it out. Do not try and beat the market. Number 4, don't invest in too much in your own company's stock. I've said this a couple times in videos before. Even though it's a very good company, you might be head over heels about your company. Diversify. Do not invest a huge amount in your own company's stock. There have been, look back to Enron. There have been so many instances in the past of companies doing great. And then all of a sudden, these people who have their whole retirement savings, 80% of their investments in their company stock, where are they left after they tank? They're left nowhere. Such a sad story. So invest in your company, believe in your company, but be conservative about it. Number 5, and this goes right along with that. Diversify to lower your risk. If you want, like I've talked about before, you can take a crazy flyer on some crypto or whatever, up to maybe even 5% of your whole investments. Don't go more than that. And diversify as well. Now, here's one thing that you have to be aware of. If you go to a financial advisor, some of those advisors will just try and dazzle you with all these funds. They might have you in 30 different things to say, oh, we're diversifying. Do you really need to get that complex? What do you think? I didn't think so. The pillow says no. You don't need to do that. You know what's a good diversification? Look at index funds. Look at, something for your age, which a good, figure for your age is if you're like 30 years old, subtract that from 100. You should be about 70% in stocks, even more. If you're 50 years old, you might want to be 50% in stocks, even more. I think that's a little conservative, but that's a rule of thumb you can kind of go by and maybe bump it up a little bit. You just can't do it that way. I mean, you have to be diversified. You have to be. That's the only way to go. So instead of going to financial advisor, if you want, look into index funds. Look into, having a certain amount of stocks and bonds. And you can get crazy if you want, but just on a very small percentage, okay? Diversify, diversify, diversify. Number 6, always pick funds with the lowest fees. I've hit the hammer on this for a long time as well in all my videos. Fees, 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 they add up. Index funds are great. Index funds have very low fees. If you have someone who is, looking over your portfolio as an advisor, you're looking at about 1%, if not more, fees on a yearly basis, okay? Doesn't matter if your stocks go down or up, you're still getting hit with that 1%. Go to index funds, low fees. There are a lot of other funds out there with low fees. Keep an eye on those fees. It's huge. It can cost you so much money in the long run. Number 7, keep your portfolio balanced by age. This is what we just talked about before. The older you get, the more conservative you should get. There are some people out there who believe in like the rising equity glide path. The older you get, the more you should have in stocks. I don't believe in that. It was a man named Michael Kitces who came up with that. I don't believe in that. Even though their data looks pretty good, I don't believe in that. The older you get, the more conservative you should get. But how conservative you get depends on you. Are you risk averse? Are you very risk tolerant? It's up to you, man. I know some people who are my age and are still like 80+% in stocks. To me, that's way too rich. I couldn't sleep at night. If you're okay with that and you know the risks involved, go for it. Just know your own risk tolerance before you do this. And the last one I have is, even if your company has no 401k, make sure you are investing in your retirement. Take out an IRA. Do it early. Believe me, I know I waited too late. I waited till I was 40. Take out an IRA. Do something. Even if you just want to put it in a retirement savings account, do that. If your company has no 401k, do not let that hold you back. You still have to invest in your retirement. So for those of you who are seeing me for the first time, my name is Duane, and this channel is based on moderate income and the strategies to get through retirement on that. If you're interested in that, think about subscribing. And if you like the video, please like. And to my regular subscribers, just remember, guys, as long as we have all these points in mind, as long as we're listening to retirement advice, good advice, we got this.